These chickens are out of food. I mean, completely out of food.
You have to give these sheeps more food quicker than quick. Papa have a huge adder.
Guys, I've shared this recipe on the channel before, and it's really not my recipe. It's Survival HT's recipe, and I just modified it just a little bit. But this is the recipe that I'm using for chicken food, and it's been working really, really well for my chickens. It's this much soybean meal, wheat, corn, and oats right up to here, and I add a few sunflower seeds in with it as well. But they're out of food, so we got to mix them up some more. These are our oats right here. And we're out. We're going to need a new bag of these. That's wheat. And this is oats. I'm going to show y'all real quick how real YouTube homesteaders open these bags with the strings in them. So you see you've got this little corner right here, and the other string does something else. And open it. This is our wheat. Soybean meal. Now this is not in Survival HT's original recipe, but I add sunflower seeds to my mix as well. Not a whole lot, maybe just a couple of double handfuls. That'll get the job done. They also are gonna need some cracked corn. And this is whole corn, but we're gonna crack it. Good job.
How are we to crack this corn?
We got a mill. Can you push that green button? Mm-hmm. Push that button. Give me 5. Can you help me mix that up? All right, get your hands in there. They also get free choice oyster shell, and I'm almost out here, but this little picnic table one of my subscribers, Mr. Bruce Welty, built and sent to me, and I think it's pretty cool. Guys, if y'all remember on the last video, we moved the garden basically and put these raised garden beds here in the yard, and I had some issues with the watering system over here. I don't know what he's doing over there. He's moving around a board. I had some issues with this watering system, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I think y'all can see this okay, but when I purchased this stuff, I thought that this tubing that goes to the plant was much more flexible than it is, but you can see it's really not particularly flexible at all. So I got some of these stakes that you can get just to make sure your waterer, your dripper, is in the right spot here. See, that's a whole lot better. So I can direct it wherever I want it with these little stakes here. That's really cool. That's a lot better. That dirt is so loose, these things aren't doing much for me. So this one is what they're calling a La Roma 3. I guess it's some new variety of Roma. We looked it up and apparently it's supposed to be basically a bigger Roma tomato. I don't know, it's the first I've ever seen of it. We'll see what happens. My wife loves Roma tomatoes, so we always plant some of them. So what did you build here?
I want you to glue it together.
But what is it? Tell me what it is.
It's a trap.
It's a trap?
Uh-huh.
For who?
For a truck not to get out.
And you want me to screw it together?
Mm-hmm.
This next one is a Super Sweet 100 hybrid cherry tomato. These produce a ton of very small, well, cherry tomatoes, and they are very, very good. Put a little more dirt around it. There we go. He's just steadily improving his invention over here. He says it's some kind of a trap for the truck.
So this glue goes on this one, and this glue goes on this.
There you go. You want to see how this works? Well, bring that stake over here, okay? So here's the little dripper that goes right in that pipe right there. Then you cut some of this tubing, put it right here. I think this goes on the end of this. Then we put the stake right here, and that'll drip water onto the plant. That's cool, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now's a good time to get this fixed. That'll get broken off fast. This is what's left of the cedar tree that I used to make the foundation posts for the chicken coop. I think we got plenty right here we can use for a post for that pipe. So I'm going to mount this pipe right here to this post that I just put in, but the problem I've got is this is kind of at a wrong angle with the post. I want the spigot facing out like this, but I couldn't put the post behind the pipe because there's a concrete slab right here. So naturally I'm just going to cut it off and put another joint in and turn it. That'll do it. This doesn't have to be pretty, it's just got to work. So So this is just a little bit unexpected. I found a source for pigs, and we're gonna go in the morning and try to get 3 gilts, and I'll explain why I'm getting 3 gilts later on in this video, but right now I need to finish up making a spot for them. I'm putting them here in this netting, this electric netting here in the shed on a very, very temporary basis until I can get a cattle panel pen built up for them. If you remember a few videos ago, Vivor sent me some of this netting right here, and I'm really, really excited to put it to use and see how well it works, but it doesn't look like they sent me a whole lot of the nylon support wires or whatever you would call it. So I'm just kind of using what I got. There was enough for like 1 corner. I'll double check the other boxes to make sure I'm not missing something, but yeah, you might have to get your own wire, line if you get any of this stuff. You know I gotta document it.
Well, yeah. Sir.
Suey.
Sir.
All right.
That's a pig right there. Bo Henry.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
You ready to go get some pigs? Mm-hmm. It is a long way away. Everybody ready?
I don't know. Where's Bo Henry?
Oh.
In front of the truck.
I guess not.
No.
He's all right.
Under the truck.
I just never actually did the actual farrowing.
Right.
So.
Well, that is kind of an intimidating thing, but I got a lot to learn, and I was really excited about being able to see your setup.
I'll show you what I got going.
Sure, that'd be great.
They're all in the corner right here. I got
Oh,
one
yeah.
I got a real aggressive female that's gonna go to a guy that wanted to.
What's in there, buddy? Pig?
More pigs.
Bert's my male. He's the big one.
That's Bert?
Yeah.
That's Bert.
Those are big pigs.
And I got.
Look at a big old pig.
Look at them.
What's up, buddy? He's still a little ornery overall situation that I put him through. He likes cameras too.
That's what's called a mohawk.
So Betty's gonna be my breeder with him. And I got Bubbles, Dottie's down below, and then Freckles.
Golly, those are some pretty pigs. Those are some pretty pigs.
And they're Yorkshire, Berkshire mix. Dottie and Freckles each had 2 mixed colored ones, tri-colored ones, and then Bubbles had all 8 were Yorkshire straight pink.
Okay.
It's just, and I've never seen a spot on him, a black spot.
It's just some kind of recessive gene that showed up somewhere along the line. I don't know.
They're Berkshire, Yorkshire mixes, so it makes sense. So all that makes sense, but he's almost 100% Yorkshire.
He's starting to get too close.
I want the black and white one. I want a black and white one.
We'll get that one for the male and the rest females.
And that's it. She'll be she's one of the bigger females. She'll be a good breeding
Fighter. I'll edit this to make you look better, Rick. How about that? Oh, you
Alright, what's it?
Can you open that for me? Because I'm stuck here.
Certainly are. Ready?
Yep.
They in the go zone. They in the go position of go here.
Got it?
I got it all over
Got all that mess?
I made y'all look terrible. We used to kill, Uncle Wes would come up and we'd kill hogs every fall. And under that big oak tree in front of Mom and Pop's house there. And it was just an event. I mean, it was an all-day event. And my mama couldn't wait to get that hog head and start cooking Brunswick stew. You know, boy, that was good. Good stuff.
Yeah, we would go almost every weekend in the fall. Go butcher.
Just
It's like a community event kind of type thing.
Lots changed in the last 70 years.
Another week or two with the apple cider vinegar, and then you ain't got to worry about it.
Here is our first little piggy in the piggy pen.
Oink. Oink.
There's an ear, look, hang on. There's an ear hanging out there.
Pig ears.
Meant him out for a
Well,
long
then.
time. We have 4 little
Okay, you got one out. This one's coming out and being adventurous.
That's my parents' pig.
That's your parents' pig?
That's the male, that's the only male.
And the other 3 are female?
Uh-huh. Is it warm out here?
Okay, 3 of them are still in. So we just have one that's out. Oh, and they're all back in. How do y'all feel about your new neighbors? So you got corn already in there.
This is soybean meal. That's close enough. I gotta get a better mixing system too. I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to stay into this. Definitely gonna have to figure out a better mixing system. I know a lot of people suggest cement mixers, and that would be handy.
I was gonna say, I like your spoon.
My big spoon? So we got a pretty serious problem here. This fence is not good enough to keep these pigs in. One of them got shocked earlier, but it didn't seem like it was a very good shock. He didn't squeal or anything. And they can fit right through these little holes. So I'm gonna figure out something different here because they've been out and in. They seem to just kind of be going as they want to go. They'll go out, they'll go in. I threw some corn in here, some whole kernel corn before I got the pig feed ready so that they would have something to do in here so they wouldn't get out. But something's gonna have to change because this is not working. There's one pig in particular that has found her a spot, and she just likes to run through the little square. And I've got cattle panels, and I mentioned on a previous video that my plan was to take those cattle panels and make a fence out of it and put this on the inside and train them to this. The problem with that is those cattle panels have pretty much the same size squares. These pigs can run right out. Now the pigs that we had last year, we didn't have this problem because we had the cattle panels, and then we had 2 strands of electric that were, they must have been pretty close together or low enough to the ground that this wasn't an issue. That's the one right there. I bet she's about to go out. There she goes. I think what I might do real quick is go ahead and put a couple of lines on the inside right here and see what happens. So what I did is I put 2 strands on the inside, and they're not necessarily lower than the ones that were on the outside, but I've been standing here and they've been shocked twice. I've seen 2 shocks out of that, so that might do the trick. It may be the case that I needed like a visual barrier as well, so the tall fence on the outside, the short one on the inside. That's kind of what we had last year with those cattle panels. So I think this is going to be working a lot better. I'll just monitor this and see what happens. I'm hoping that once they get larger, that netting is going to have less trouble keeping them in. They can run right through those squares as it is. Before I wrap up this video, I wanted to kind of share with y'all what's going on here. So these 3 pigs, these 3 pink ones, are females, and the spotted one over there is a male, a castrated male. That castrated male is a meat pig for my parents. One of these females is a meat pig for my wife's family. Another one of the females is a meat pig for us, and we're going to keep one of the other females and eventually acquire a male, an uncut male, and be able to produce our own feeder pigs at some point in the future, hopefully this year sometime. That way we'll be able to produce our own feeder piglets, and we'll have some for ourselves and for friends and family, and have some to sell on the side as well. Hopefully we'll just see where it takes us. This is one of those things I don't have a lot of experience with, but I'm really interested in learning more about it, and I'm really interested in sharing it with y'all too. So I will see y'all on the next one. Thank y'all for watching.